Coming to Branson for Christmas is fun. I mean, capital F-U-N. You've got to come experience it as we celebrate Christmas here in Branson. You don't want to miss Smoke on the Mountain as they celebrate songs, laughter, and a story with the Sanders Family Christmas. Catfish is here to tell us all about it. Hey, Merry Christmas, Catfish.
Well, thank you very much, Byron. I can't believe that this show is so wonderful. Okay? I mean, it really is. Now, they actually wrote, because I noticed you start off with Smoke on the Mountain, because Smoke on the Mountain was the very first one that these people wrote. Okay? And it is the most popular of the ones that they wrote. But this next one, I'm telling you, the cast as actors, we enjoy it even more. You see, the first one's set on June 15th of 1938, Smoke on the Mountain is, and they're coming into a Baptist church. They're a traveling gospel singing family, okay? And, of course, everything goes haywire for them, which is what makes the show a real comedy. But then the next one is they're coming into the same Baptist church, but it's set on Christmas Eve of 1941. Now, can you remember history?
Yeah,
18 days earlier was the attack on Pearl Harbor. So the reason we as actors enjoy this one over the other one, it's got peaks and valleys. See, Smoke on the Mountain is just laughter the whole way through. This one, you'll cry at times.
I've seen it. You will cry at times.
Yes.
But you're going to get a lot of belly laughs, too.
Oh, it's mostly laughing. Of course. It's mostly laughing. But there again, as I said, you get to cry at this one, too, because it's got some sad moments.
Well, Catfish, what's really so, I think, fun and really a great show with you guys is how you engage the audience.
Yes.
I mean, the audience is part of the show.
Yes. Yes, other musicals, if you think of Sound of Music and things like that, all that type stuff is what we call four-wall theater. What four-wall theater really means is the actors act amongst themselves and pay no attention to the audience. So the audience is watching through an invisible wall. The difference with the Smoke on the Mountain series of them, and all of them are this way, the Christmas one is too, the audience is actually the members of the Baptist church. So they're the congregation. So consequently, we are picking on the congregation. We talk to them. They become part of the show. And, of course, we encourage them to participate because, yes, they don't have a line scripted, but I don't care what they yell out. We can answer back,
Now, I got to ask you this one question before we go any further. Now,
Yes.
Was your mom on a lake fishing and she caught a catfish right before? What's the connection with catfish here?
I've been an entertainer in Branson for 32 years. And I worked for Silver City for years and years and years. And one of the things was when I first started there, I was the rainmaker, okay? But the rainmaker always only had his summertime. They didn't do him in the fall. And I was living in Harrison because my hometown is Harrison. I was driving back and forth at the time, and I had a motorcycle wreck. Now, what happened was a truck just lost a steel pipe off the back of it. He's going the opposite direction, but his steel pipe caught my bike, So it didn't break any bones, but it peeled me. Well, it laid me up from going to work. And Silver City called me up, and they said, well, when you come back, we're going to have you playing Paul Hatfield. Now, you need to come up with a name for Paul Hatfield. Well, see, the guy playing Paul McCoy was Mad Dog. So what I thought was, well, Mad Dog and Catfish sound like they're going to be fighting people.
That sounds like it to me.
Yeah, and so I grew my mustache out, big old long thing, and waxed it out like a catfish's whiskers. Well, everybody loved it so much that I ended up being the deputy the very next year. The only time I ever did Paul Hatfield was that little fall, and they put me in the deputy, and I did him probably Deputy Catfish for 9 years or so, and the problem was I made him so memorable, people forgot my name.
How about that?
I became Catfish. And even at IMAX, where I don't do the character of Catfish anymore, I'm still Catfish.
You're still Catfish. That makes it fun. Well, Catfish, you have been here in Branson, as you mentioned, entertaining for a long time. Talk about Christmas in Branson.
As you said, I'm long time. So what I want you to know is 30 years ago, there was no Christmas in Branson. We'd have a 6-month off season. You would get so cabin crazy before we got back to work. But now the Christmas season is here. It's been upon us now for a long time. I can't exactly remember, but about 89, 90, I guess it started up here in Branson. Nowadays, it is the biggest season in Branson. But it is also the most spectacular. What better thing can you have than the birth of Christ in the first place? But, we're celebrating it here in Branson. We actually start before Halloween. Most of them are already geared over. We've already got lights up. There's things. And they do so much wonderful stuff, not just in our show, Everywhere, all of Branson celebrates Christmas, and it's just fabulous. It is fabulous.
It is fabulous. I mean, it really kicks off the season great when you can come bring your family to Branson, and enjoy, like you said, multiple shows that are all not ashamed to say Merry Christmas and that Jesus is the reason for the season.
Hallelujah.
That's right.
That's why we're here, why we do what we do.
Yeah.
And by the way, one of the reasons that I am with Smoke on the Mountain, I've always wanted to do something that honored God. I always look at, he gave me lots of talents. And that story about the talents in the Bible, where you got to multiply them talents, is always a better thing to do. And I always wanted to take my talents and do it into a gospel type thing. And when this opportunity came with Smoke on the Mountain, I jumped at it.
Wow.
Because I get to stand up in front of people every day and tell them that Jesus is the Christ. And to me, how wonderful that being an entertainer and you get to be up in front of people that might not be Christian and get to state your belief. I think that's a wonderful thing.
That's a pretty special thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And we get to do a lot of that here in Branson, not just my show.
It's all over town.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really is.
Okay, now the Sanders Family Christmas is at the IMAX, Branson IMAX.
Yes, but we're inside the Little Opry Theater when you're in there. See, a lot of people get confused. They don't realize the Little Opry Theater is inside the IMAX Entertainment Complex.
Which makes it nice because you can get a delicious meal at McFarland's.
Yes.
You can sample. What else? You got some other goodies around there.
Oh, yeah. And of course, there is also a concession stand, so you can get all the popcorn. And being owned by a movie, people ask me all the time, can we bring stuff into the theater? Well, of course, we're owned by a movie company. Bring in your popcorn and all that. What I really like, too, is here at Christmas, this is the first time we've done anything like this. The 5 o'clock show is going to be Smoke on the Mountain. Now, we only do one on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturdays, but it'll be the regular first show. And then all the 8 o'clocks are going to be Christmas, which means you could come one day, watch the 5 o'clock, eat something at McFarland's, and come and watch the 8 o'clock and watch both of the shows in one day.
And, you would enjoy doing that.
Yes.
You really would. It's so much fun. You guys make it fun.
It's hilarious. You're going to laugh, laugh, laugh. I tell people all the time, look us up on TripAdvisor. You'll find out, we had recently, by the way, an atheist on TripAdvisor that said, now you would think as an atheist I wouldn't go to a Christian show, but he goes, I went it, and this is probably my favorite show in Branson.
Wow. Tickets are available online, I guess. You can go ahead and order those before you come to Branson.
You can do that at BransonIMAX.com and find out all that information there. But, of course, you can also walk up to the box office. But Christmas also fills up a lot. You realize we are also a very small theater. I think 208 is all the chairs that are in there.
And that's what really makes it fun, too, because you have that intimate, close feeling. I mean, you're actually you're right there with you guys.
Yes. They're right on top of us.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we do travel with the show in the winter, and a lot of times we get to nice big old theaters that seat 1,000, 2,000 people, and it's packed full. But the front row's so far away from us that we don't like it.
Yeah.
We like it that our front row is almost on the stage. And we get to deal with the people. We get to work with the people. You see everybody in the theater. You can see the back row. And I know if you've ever been on stage with lights, really you lose past about 5 rows.
Yeah.
But in ours, you can see everybody in the thing.
Wow.
So it's really fun because they are part of the show.
Hey, Catfish, thanks for bringing the excitement for the show here to our Bot Radio Network listeners today.
All right. I love Bot Radio. I listen to it every day.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Don't forget, friends, Sanders Family Christmas now showing here in Branson. Don't want to miss it. It's at the Little Opry Theater, and so make plans to bring the family. Come and enjoy the season here at Christmas with Branson and with Catfish. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody.